Hello, my name is Caleb Hangeveld and I am in the STEM 10 cohort. What I want to share with you is a fully operational 3D printer that I helped reassemble last year in order to 3D print miniatures for tabletop games that I play. Let me explain to you how to use the 3D printer. You first find an STL file of the model that you want to 3D print. When you upload the file to the 3D printer, a slicer converts the file into G-code, which are instructions for the printer, and sends it to the 3D printer. This 3D printer prints models by having a spool of ABS filament, which is right here, fed into the motor head by a plastic tube. The filament is melted and extruded onto the print board layer by layer, each layer fusing to the previous layer as it cools down. Any overhanging layers have plastic supports printed to hold it up as it is being printed. This method of 3D printing is called fused deposition modeling and is the most common method. Most of the problems we ran into during the project involved reassembling the 3D printer and fixing the printer head, as the extruder nozzle often got clogged and had to be cleaned. How we did this was by first taking apart the print head by taking out the screws that held the print head mount to the extruder, and then blowtorching the clogged nozzle to make the plastic plugging it melt off. The reason I liked this project experience is because I got to learn about a subject area which I previously knew nothing about, that also helped me in my out-of-school hobbies by printing out miniatures to use in tabletop games instead of having to buy randomized packets. The biggest thing this project taught me about technology is how 3D printing works. Not only did I learn about how to fix 3D printers and use them to make models, I also learned about different types of 3D printing, terminology, and different filament materials. For example, in addition to the fused deposition modeling method of 3D printing, there is also stereolithography, called SLA for short, and selective laser sintering, called SLS for short. SLA works by using ultraviolet light to solidify a liquid resin, drawing out a slice of the part to cure it layer by layer. It is the oldest method and works very fast, but the liquid resin is quite expensive. SLS works a lot like SLA, but uses a powdered material instead of resin, and requires lots of power, therefore being very expensive. Next for me is learning how to paint the miniatures that I 3D print, and maybe also looking into the other methods of 3D printing to see their pros and cons. Thanks for checking out my project.